Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. I cannot wait to talk to Linda today. We're talking about new resorts to book for your honeymoon and your wedding. And this is Linda Dancer, and she is with Linda Dancer Travel and also with Honeymoons Inc. And I'll go right in and read her bio. She is a former airline employee and incurable romantic, which led her to focus the romance travel niche nearly 30 years ago, focusing on honeymoons and destination weddings in the Caribbean, Mexico, and Hawaii. And it primarily allows her to travel often to the most popular destinations and resorts. And she also has a new grandson named Dawson. So, welcome, Linda.
Hi, good to see you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you and catch up. I've known you for so long, and I've loved all the Nashville Bride Guide features that we've worked on together. And even just reading your bio, I'm like, your job is so fun. You get to travel to like the coolest places, the coolest new resorts, and just to take it all in and see like what is hot right now in booking destination weddings and in booking honeymoons. And so you just got back from an amazing trip. It was in Mexico, and you went to a bunch of different cities, and they were all Hyatt Inclusive Collection hotels and resorts and things like that. So I would just love for you to jump off and maybe tell us a little bit more about your trip.
I did. So, in the last couple of months, I've actually been to Mexico twice.
Awesome.
I wanted to fly into the new Tulum airport to see what that was all about. And because there's a lot of hotels that are down south in Tulum area, which cuts the transfer time in half. And then also the new resorts that have just recently opened up in the Cancun area.
Mhm.
So I saw the new Secrets Playa Blanca. I saw Costa Mujeres is the new area in Cancun. So we have the TRS Coral Hotel, which is next door to Grand Palladium, and just
Ooh.
a whole bunch of great hotels. But Hyatt Inclusive Resorts have both adult only and family friendly resorts, which is so important to do the research for destination weddings.
Mhm. That's really cool. Yeah, and I really like what you said about, how they have family-friendly resorts, but then also adults-only resorts. And, I think that is important and something that couples should consider when they are booking their honeymoon is, they could just rush right away and be like, I love this resort, let's book it. But then all of a sudden, maybe there's like a bunch of kids and families around, and maybe they weren't expecting that. And so I think having somebody like you in their court who they've brought on board to kind of vet these different resorts and hotels for them to stay at and to really know, and to point out like this one is adults only and this one is family friendly. I think that's so important just so couples know like what they're getting into. Is that right?
Coming from an airline background,
Yeah.
logistics are just so important. So
Mhm.
if we do need, whether it be just a younger sibling of the bride or groom, the logistics of getting between the adult only and the family friendly side. Can you walk it? Can you take a boat? Can you take a golf cart? Or is it a ways away and you have to pay for a transfer? And that comes into play for like wedding rehearsal times and get togethers with different groups and that kind of thing. So me going to visit all of these hotels, I can just personally know the logistics of how you get from one place to the other, how you navigate all these different things. So that is just so important.
Mhm.
So that's why I go to see everything that's new. Um, there are like Ava Resort is just opening, which is like the hottest ticket in town.
Oh.
However, when I was there, I there's just a lot that needs to be finished. It will be amazing when it's finished, but there's just a lot that is going to need to take place before I feel comfortable booking a wedding group there. To be quite
Yeah.
honest, but
Do they
that's why
have a slated date of when that one will be finished?
I don't know, but I have to walk around. The restaurants are beautiful.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that are kind of done, Ava Bay and that kind of thing, but just seemed to be a lot of things that weren't ready.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
so I just
Yeah.
have to keep my eye on that and go back and see it
Right.
and feel comfortable about it before I
Mhm.
personally book it for a group.
Yeah. So that one has potential for the future, but that's
Yes.
really good that you went there and saw with your own eyes, like, hey, this isn't quite ready yet. And like, because if you didn't, maybe you would have taken the risk and booked a couple there. And I know a lot of times, like, maybe these resorts might offer like deals for if you're like the
They
first
do.
in, or like if you book early. And so that you do have a risk in running that. And so that's really great to just like have you on a couple side to be like, let's wait on that one.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be. I'm sure it'll be good to go by end of
Yeah.
25. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
But those were some of the new things going on in Cancun and Tulum. So
Hmm.
excited
That's
about
really
those.
cool. Yeah. Okay. So, all right, you said that was the Ava what
Mhm.
hotel. Is there an Aurora hotel too? Is that one of
Not,
them?
not that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I think it was just the Ava, but
Okay.
I did go to um, Impression Isla Mujeres.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Oh
I've
my
heard good
goodness!
things about that
Yes,
one.
it's the most Instagrammable hotel in 2024. And if you can dream it, it's just incredible. Like from the transfer, you take the transfer to their private pier, you get on their private catamaran, you're met with drinks and whatnot, service at the pier while you wait for the catamaran.
Oh my gosh.
Then you take the catamaran across that beautiful blue water to their hotel pier, where you're met by the butlers and you're taken up the pier to the hotel. And it's just incredible. It is just
Wow.
incredible.
That
So,
sounds
yeah,
absolutely like a dream.
it is straight from The Bachelor, Bachelorette, or Lifestyle, the Rich and Famous, or what, whatever you want to call it. But it was absolutely stunning. It's only 125 rooms. So the personalized butler service is just incredible. Even the rooftop butler was just incredible by the pool. So it's over the top. It's pretty cool.
That is so fun. Okay, so that one, it's an all-inclusive resort too.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and then
Yeah, the impressions are like all inclusive, but top of the line all inclusive. It's like a step
okay,
above everything.
okay.
Personalized butler. It is just we have the new Isla Impressions, which is across on a separate island of Isla Mujeres. And then
Wow.
there's also down a little bit south at Secrets Moche, we have Secrets Impressions Moche. So
Okay.
it's like a resort within the resort.
Wow.
So for my destination wedding couples at Secrets Moche, they like to book the Impressions Tower. They have access to everybody and everything at Secrets Moche, but they just get this personalized, elevated experience. So yeah,
That's cool. I like the option of like being able to hop around and kind of experience different resorts too. I think that's fun and kind of gives like an added activity to do like on your honeymoon, which is
yes.
awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so for the butler service, is that like each room like gets their own butler? Is that how it works?
Yeah, some resorts it's butler per room. Some it's like a certain floor or certain
Okay.
section. But yeah, it's a personalized one-on-one butler service that you have your butler team you meet when you get there. And
Wow, that's
they
really
they, they
cool.
take care of everything.
Yeah.
And for me
So,
with the food allergy, it's so important to have
mhm.
that extra level of service. I don't have to worry about anything. They speak with the chefs and make sure everything's taken care of. So it's good.
That's amazing. That would mean a lot to somebody who has a food sensitivity or allergy for sure. And it just makes you feel like more at home and more like taken care of, which is really
Mhm.
cool. So as far as butler service goes, like what all would they do for you? Are they like ironing your clothes for the night out, or like what, or is it more like a room service sort of a thing where if like anything you want to order they would bring to you? Like what are some of the amenities, I guess, that or benefits of having a butler?
Well, I don't. I would never want them to unpack my clothes or any of that, but they would.
Okay, okay.
I would never want them to do
Yeah.
that. It's more they inquire about when and where you would like to eat and do your dinner reservations. if you want to be by the pool, if you want to be by the beach, if you want to go to the spa, if you want to stay in your room, if you want to have your spa services in your suite as opposed to going to the spa, if you want to do any tours or activities or private dinners or anything that to make your particular trip personalized and special,
Hmm.
that's what they do based upon what you want.
That's
And
really
that's what
cool.
makes it more personalized.
Yeah, I really like that, especially if if your plans change or something, like you'll know that they can just handle it for you um and make sure that you're like all set up to like do whatever you want to do on your trip, which is really cool. I love that added layer to it.
And different resorts do it differently. Some you do it by app. Some,
Okay.
um, like my most recent experience, we handled everything through WhatsApp. When I got to the
Okay.
resort, my butler texted me on WhatsApp. So we communicated text through WhatsApp,
Mhm.
so different resorts do it a little bit different, but it was totally personalized. At a reasonable hour, he would
Mhm.
say, "Hey, Linda, do you want anything today? What can I do for you today?" Those kind of things. What are we doing for dinner? It was just nice to know I didn't have to think about anything. He just,
Right. Yeah,
he
that's so
was just
good.
checking to see if I wanted anything or if I needed
Mhm.
anything or had any questions or you don't miss anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah.
sometimes couples that aren't used to traveling don't know what to ask. They don't, no,
Mhm.
they don't even know what all's included, actually. Sometimes no matter how many times we try to tell them and show them the brochures and all that, they get there and they don't really understand how it all works and all that. So a butler will just make sure that you don't miss anything.
That is so nice. I love that because, like, you don't want to get on your trip and then feel like you have to plan your trip while you're on your trip.
Right.
And so, just like having someone as your point person to like run everything past, I think is just so helpful to add that service on, which is
Yes.
really great. Yeah. Okay, so before when you talked about some of these resorts, you were talking about some very Instagrammable moments. Can you maybe go into some of those and like are they murals or are they just the landscape in general? Like what can some couples expect for that?
It's like they really thought about place, right? So
Mhm.
there are decks and they've like taken like plexiglass so there's nothing to impede if you're standing there doing a selfie, all you see is the ocean behind you. You don't see any wall. You don't see any of that. So it's
Wow.
like when they were planning the decor, they thought about if we did a selfie, what would be behind us. And um, so the water, the landscape, all of those can then come into play. A lot of the resorts built certain things facing the sunset, knowing that those would be the things that people would want to have a picture taken with, that kind of thing. Um, a lot of the resorts are doing now the robes and slippers and all of those
Mhm.
because everybody wants to take a picture of them in either breakfast in bed in their robes and all those kind of things. So they're thinking about those kind of amenities and the swim up suites and all those kind of things like what's around and what would be included in the champagne and all those kind of things. So
Mhm.
different resorts are doing different things to make sure that if they get captured on Instagram, it's an Instagrammable moment for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that is so important now for resorts that are new to be thinking about that because a lot of times it is all about, showcasing your dream trip. And a lot of couples like have saved up, especially for this honeymoon, to make it their dream come true trip. And so to be able to utilize those different amenities and those different backdrops and to just feel so pampered throughout the whole experience, I think is very important to couples. And so it's cool that like the designers who design the resorts put all that thought into it. And they're using, you know, man-made things like the slippers and the robes and everything, but also using the natural beauty of just the destination as the backdrop for people to just take advantage of those photo ops, which is really cool.
And sustainability is a huge thing right now.
Hmm.
Um, and so, like, especially in Mexico, the wood and the things that they use, natural wood, natural stone, and those kind of things, to just have such a warmth, just such a sense of place. When you go into the room, you just feel just so enveloped in nature. Um,
Mhm.
so I just love that they're thinking about, protecting the resources that are around them and finding ways to incorporate the local woods and that kind of stuff, instead of making everything plastic and all that. They're just using, what's there. I think that's really, really wonderful. For each destination, they're trying to do that more.
Yeah. I love that you brought up that point because that is just it's a trend, but I feel like it should just stay permanent.
It's it.
um, and more couples are looking to incorporate sustainability not only just in their weddings, but also in their honeymoons. And for them to see that their honeymoon resort was built with natural resources and that, you know, there is this eye for sustainability. And like even resorts that I've stayed at over the past few years, it's like you see those little signs that say like keep your towel or like put it on the floor if you want us to change it out, but like try to keep it so we don't have to like keep doing laundry. And just those like little touches I think are very important to couples these days and just what they're looking for, and it just elevates the experience even more, I think.
And it's even changed for me, like we said, I've been doing this for 30 years, but
Mhm.
um, even how I do site inspections now, or when I'm at the resort, what I personally capture, when I'm doing my photos and videos, I'm trying to think what my clients will see when they're there. I've even had to like rethink what I see when I'm getting ready to take videos and photos and things to showcase. And um, there was even a resort I stayed at recently. They went into one of the local prisons, and when they were building, they had gentlemen that were incarcerated do like all of the like lampshades and so forth are all
Wow.
handmade with twigs and all of that.
No
But it
way.
gave them some money and something to send to their family. But they also used local resources. And I just thought that was just like really, really special. That made me even love it more. So
Yeah. That is really cool that these resorts are being so thoughtful with their decor like that and giving back to their communities because I think in a lot of these destinations, like I went to St. Lucia a while back and it was like seriously, the resorts there are what drives the economy
absolutely.
in these remote locations and what keeps them sustaining and thriving, just for the people in the community too. And so I think utilizing the people in the community to help build or to help put their personalized touches in there of like what the culture is actually like in that area, is really important and an extra special touch too.
Absolutely.
Hmm. That's so cool. Okay, so we talked about some of the resorts in Cancun. And did we touch on Tulum too? Or were there other ones there that you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so the new airport in Tulum is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was really interesting. And so Secrets Tulum recently opened. And so even though it isn't direct, the resort itself is not on the beach, but they have a beach club. And people have this misconception that they can just walk to the beach club in Tulum, but it's not that way. Like that, there's like a Tulum proper city, and then there's the actual boho strip with all the beach clubs, and they're not near each other. So people need to think about that when they're trying to book a Tulum Beach Club experience. So, but Secrets Tulum opened, and they have this beautiful adults only all inclusive resort, but they also have their own beach club. And the shuttle runs back and forth between Secrets Tulum down to the beach club. And they also recently just opened Casa Zamna, which is a small boutique hotel section directly on the beach.
Ooh,
So
that
I have
sounds
honeymooners getting ready to check in this weekend.
Oh.
They did a split stay. They stayed up in Cancun for the first part, and then they're coming down. They wanted that bohemian beachfront kind of experience. So they're going to be transferring down to Casa Zamna, and they booked one of the beachfront rooms. So literally, they are like 11 steps from the sand.
Mm.
And there are restaurants down there. There is a beautiful pool, and they can walk like up the strip and see all the boutique shops and restaurants and all that are known Tulum is known for. So it's really
Oh,
really a cool experience.
yeah, that sounds like a dream. And I love that you mentioned the couple that you're working with is doing a split stay. I think that is such a great idea for your honeymoon if you
Mhm.
want to maybe explore different areas or just like get a little change of pace, or like if one part of your honeymoon like you wanted to spend 2 or 3 nights like in an overwater bungalow, or just like go all out, but like maybe you don't have the budget to do that for your entire honeymoon,
Right.
and then you can kind of like split it and get you know just a resort room or a hotel room for the rest of it. I think that's a really smart thing to do to maybe like stay on budget, where it's like you still can sort of have it all, but like just in little doses, and you're still having a great experience the whole time, but having a little change of scenery, I think, is a really fun way to go about it.
I love helping clients think outside of the box.
Yeah.
For most of them, they don't even realize it's an option. They just think they have to like land, go to one place, stay there, and go back to the airport. They don't
Mhm.
begin to understand. And I'm all about logistics. So I like putting people in, like in St. Lucia, we were talking about, if you want to do the mud baths and the waterfalls and all that, think about staying near that for the first part, then transfer up north to one of the adult only all inclusives and enjoy your stay. But don't spend your whole time in a car going back and forth to go do
Right.
the activities that
Mhm.
the area is known for. So I like helping couples think outside the box and put together custom things within their budget.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I think, like you said too, even at the top of the podcast, and you just mentioned transportation again, I think that is something that's really important to consider is like, sometimes getting to these remote islands or places and resorts is sometimes they're a little bit hard to get to. It's like planes, trains, and automobiles, like all day for like a whole day just to get there. Like if you're flying halfway across the world on this like crazy, like 8+ hour flight or whatever it might be. And then it's like, then once you get there, you have to figure out like, okay, I landed at this airport and now I need ground transportation to this area, and then maybe like you said you might need a boat to like go over here, or a golf cart to even get to your room like with all of your luggage and everything. And so I think to have someone like you come on board and to really explain that to somebody, rather than like scrolling and seeing something cool on Instagram and just booking it on your own, and then you get there and you're surprised and you're like, "Oh my gosh, there's a language barrier. I need to call a car. I don't know how to even get here." Like I can't express like how important it is to like have somebody who's been there to help you through the process.
Yeah, I'm like a helicopter mom, but all my clients have my personal cell phone number and they can text me at any point. So if they can't remember anything we talked about whatsoever, they know they can text me to say, what did you
Mhm.
say we were supposed to do at a
Yeah.
certain point or whatnot, which happens quite often actually. So, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. Especially like because I mean, a lot of times couples focus is on their actual wedding day. And then I hate to say it, but sometimes a honeymoon is an afterthought, but it's like you're spending a week plus a lot of times on your honeymoon rather than just one day. And so I think putting like a little bit extra thought into that, to knowing like what excursions you're doing, like the transportation and where you're going and things like that, is just also important to know. And so, but also if you do have like wedding brain and you're like, okay, the day is over, like I don't even know what airport I'm going to or like what I'm doing, and you're kind of in this fog, to have you there to just run questions past, or to be like, okay, here's your boarding pass, like, that sort of thing, or whatever it might be, I think is really good to have.
I know I just sent a client a second ago because after COVID, um, so many destinations now have online immigrations forms
Oh,
that you
cool.
have to have completed before you arrive in destination, those
Okay,
kind of things.
yeah.
So I'm just always like following up, and being from a small town in East Tennessee, I understand clients that have got a brand new passport and never used it.
Yeah.
So talking through this is your passport, what immigrations means and what customs means and what's next, the next step, and talking through all those, because knowledge is power. And when
Mhm.
they know what's next and step by step, what they're going to do, it just helps so much to not get off in a stressful foot. So I like being able to help go through all that stuff.
Right. You did just bring up a great point there too, is that a lot of times when couples are booking their honeymoon in another country or island or destination, it could be their first time leaving the country. And
Mm.
so that can be a scary thing sometimes, especially for people who don't fly a lot or don't travel a lot. And they are using this opportunity for a honeymoon to actually make their dream trip come true and to fly internationally. And so I think there could be like a lot of nerves around that of like, I don't know how to go through customs. Like, what can I even expect? Like, what do I even pack? And, how do I get there? And like you said, the immigration forms and everything, like that can be so confusing to somebody who's never done it before. So once again, you're the pro and you can guide them along for that.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I took 150 people to Aruba in April for a wedding.
Oh my gosh.
So you have every level of first time nervous flyers to world travelers and everything in between. So
Mhm.
it gets really exciting whenever you have a large group of folks to navigate. So
Oh
it's
my
fun.
goodness. Were you on that trip too, or you were helping them book it?
I
You were.
always go with my wedding groups.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's
Yes,
amazing.
because if I'm in destination and something goes wrong, um, like in that bride's case, she had booked a suite thinking it was big enough to accommodate her 12 bridesmaids, but then it wasn't, because she had hair and
Mm.
makeup come in and it wasn't big enough. So I had the hotel move my room down beside of their room. And then I vacated my room at 8 o'clock in the morning and entertained myself in Aruba all day. So the bridesmaids all rotated in and out of my room to get their hair and makeup done over to her room. And then she wound up in my room last to get dressed by herself in peace and quiet. So, but being
Oh.
a destination, I'm able to, just kind of help with whatever comes up. So I love,
Mhm.
if at all possible, I travel with all my groups.
Yeah. Bless you for doing that. That's for you to sacrifice your own room for your brides. It's like, man, you really know what you're doing and you are
Oh, yeah.
willing
I do
to,
anything moral,
yeah.
legal, or ethical for my brides and grooms, so that's not a problem at all. It was just I'm there. I know a way to work around, and I'm used to the resorts and the resort team, wedding teams, and all that, so I know how to
Right.
maneuver and do things that are make things happen anyway.
Right. And it's like you already have a rapport with them because you've most likely been there already and maybe know the team and know what's going on. And you've already been the point of contact person for booking this whole trip. And so to just have that background knowledge in order to get things done like that need to get done, it's like you already have the respect built. And so with the hotel team, which is great rather than, a couple who just maybe had not a lot of point of contact and just like clicked a button online and said, let's go. And then when they try to do something like that, it might not be as smooth as if they're working with you.
It doesn't really ever work out too well.
No, I wouldn't think so. Oh, that's awesome. Were there any other resorts that you wanted to talk about before we hop off?
Yes. So
Okay.
speaking of Aruba,
Yeah.
I'm going back to Aruba in April. We have Secrets Baby Beach Aruba opening in March.
Yay.
So if people have been to Aruba, you have the area where like the cruise ships come in and that main area, and then you go what they call up the bridge to a more undeveloped area. And that's where Baby Beach is located. That's where like the Aruba Ocean Villas, the overwater bungalows, that's where they're located up by the little town of San Rafael. So it's opening in March. I'll be staying there in
Mm,
April to check it out for myself. But it's
exciting.
highly anticipated. It's going to be absolutely beautiful because it's a beautiful beach area. So I anticipate clients will be, maybe if they want to do like the party scene, maybe they can go there and then do a split stay out to Baby Beach. So I'll be working on those kind of itineraries while I'm there. And then the other resort that I'm so excited for is Secrets St. Lucia. Is
Oh,
opening in
yay.
January,
Awesome.
because I am a St. Lucia Global Piton specialist, which means I'm one of the top 15 agents in the country for St. Lucia. So I absolutely love the
Amazing.
island. But
Congratulations.
it opens in January. It was formerly the St. James Club Resort. And so I
Okay.
did a hard hat tour in June to see what they're adding in, all these beautiful swim up suites and some bungalows up on the hill and all of that kind of stuff. And they've kept the restaurant that goes out on the pier. And so I'm so excited to see, they kept a lot of the original structure and added all these new beautiful features and all that. So I can't wait to share Secret St. Lucia with my clients.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it's about
cannot
an
wait.
hour from the airport. So,
Yeah.
I would suggest we book the St. Lucia helicopter transfers, because that's only
Mm,
11 minutes from the international airport up to the North Airport, and then take a private car on over. So anyway, I
yeah.
look forward to putting itineraries together in St. Lucia, featuring Secret St. Lucia. So,
Yeah. That's exciting. That's a great tip because I've been to St. Lucia and driving around those windy roads. And if it's far away, it can get to be a lot, just especially on the tail end of your travel day.
yes. Now's a great time to book both of them because I've got some, like grand opening specials, and they just
Oh,
released space, and I'm already booking weddings for 2025 and 2026. So now's a
wow.
good time to jump in on both of those. So
Okay, yeah, that's great to know. Yeah, if you can get in early on these resorts, I think that's a great idea because it's like number one, you're getting a deal on it already. And number two, it's like everything is brand new and
yes,
it's really
yes,
fun. So,
yes.
yeah. So cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us, where can everyone find you to book your services and to just find out more about these amazing resorts?
Well, my website is just lindadancer.com.
Mhm.
And Instagram is just at Linda Dancer HMI. I've been trying to go through all of my news, stuff on my phone to make Instagram reels and all that kind of stuff. So I'll continually post there. And then it automatically goes over to Facebook, but primarily my website and Instagram.
Mhm.
So,
Awesome. This is so cool. I cannot wait to just like follow along with all of your upcoming travels that you have and to just even see more of your content of the places that you just went to too. And so it's also exciting. And thank you so much for coming on today. This has been so fun, Linda. Chat soon.
okay, thanks. Bye
Bye.
now.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wedding Reporter podcast. I hope you learned a little bit and had fun today. To find more resources and podcast episodes, visit NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more information. And as always, click the subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, I'm Alyssa DeChico, signing off.